Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel lost right now, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. We all have moments in life when we wake up and think, what the hell am I doing? Maybe your career feels off. Maybe your relationships aren't fulfilling. Maybe you don't even recognize yourself anymore. And in those moments, it's easy to panic, to spiral, to feel like you're stuck and there's no way out. But let me tell you something, feeling lost is not the problem. Staying lost is, and staying lost, that's a choice. So if you're tired of feeling like you have no direction, here's what you need to do. First, stop waiting for clarity. Clarity isn't something you magically wake up with one morning. It's not going to appear in a dream or a podcast or an Instagram quote. Clarity comes from taking action. You don't think your way into knowing what you want, you act your way into it. Think about it. The happiest, most successful people didn't start their journey with a perfect plan. They started with one decision, one step, and then another, and another. You want to find your purpose? Get out there and start doing things. Try new things, experiment, take the pressure off. Give yourself permission to explore, to fail, to pivot. Because every step you take, whether it works out or not, gives you information. And that information brings you closer to where you need to be. You cannot think your way into the life you want. You must act your way into it. Second, fix your thoughts. The way you talk to yourself matters more than you think. If you keep saying, I'm stuck, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm lost, your brain is going to make sure that's your reality. Your mind listens to what you repeat. So if you want to start moving forward, change the story you tell yourself. Instead of I'm lost, say, I'm figuring things out. I'm in transition. I'm learning what I want. A simple shift in words can completely change the way you see your situation. Third, stop looking at everyone else's life. Listen, if you feel lost, but you're spending hours scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to other people, you are making things 10 times worse. You're looking at someone's highlight reel and comparing it to your behind the scenes. And guess what? That's not real life. The truth is, nobody has it all figured out. Nobody. And the ones who seem like they do, they've just mastered one thing, taking action despite uncertainty. So stop looking left and right. Stop wasting energy worrying about where other people are. Your journey is yours. Stay focused on it. Fourth, get out of your head and into your body. When you're feeling stuck, one of the best things you can do is move. Walk, exercise, dance, do anything that physically shifts your energy. Why? Because motion creates emotion. And the fastest way to change how you feel is to change what you're doing physically. You ever notice how your best ideas come when you're in the shower or out on a walk? That's because movement gets you out of your overthinking mind and into action mode. So when you feel paralyzed by uncertainty, don't sit there analyzing. Move. Fifth, just start. Look, you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You don't need a sign from the universe. You just need to do something. Anything. Write the first page of the book. Apply for the job, make the phone call, sign up for the class, say yes to the opportunity, because action is the cure for feeling lost. The more you sit and wait for clarity, the more lost you'll feel. But the moment you start moving, things shift. Doors open, opportunities appear. And before you know it, you'll realize you were never truly lost. You were just standing still. So if you take one thing from this speech, let it be this. Stop overthinking. Start moving. Your future is waiting. Feeling lost is something everyone experiences at some point in their lives. It can happen in your career, in your relationships, or even in your sense of self. But the important thing to remember is that feeling lost does not mean you are broken. It does not mean you are failing. It simply means you are in a transition, a moment of recalibration, a period of growth. And while it's a completely normal part of life, staying lost is not something you have to accept. Staying lost is a choice. The real problem isn't feeling lost. The real problem is what you do next. Most people panic. They overthink. They obsess over what's missing, and they tell themselves that because they don't have a clear path forward, they're stuck. That's not true. What's really happening is that you're standing still. And the longer you stand still, the more trapped you feel. It becomes a cyclone that convinces you that you're powerless, when in reality, you have all the power you need to break free. The first thing you need to understand is that clarity doesn't just show up one day. It's not something you can wait for, like a package in the mail. It doesn't arrive in a flash of inspiration while you're scrolling through Instagram or binge watching Netflix. Clarity comes from movement. It comes from doing asterisk, asterisk. You don't find the answers by thinking about them. You find the answers by taking action, by trying things, by stepping into the unknown and trusting that each small step will reveal more of the path ahead. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all figured out. They didn't start that way. They weren't born with a detailed roadmap for success. What they did differently is they moved even when they didn't know what they were doing. They experimented, they tried, they failed, they learned, and they kept going. Every step they took gave them new information, and that information helped them course correct. That's how clarity is built, not by sitting around and waiting for the perfect plan, but by taking imperfect action. Asterisk, asterisk. If you're feeling lost right now, ask yourself this: what is one small thing you can do today that moves you in a new direction? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be life-changing. It just has to be something. Maybe it's sending an email. Maybe it's signing up for a class. Maybe it's just making a list of things that interest you. Whatever it is, do it, because action breaks the cycle of uncertainty. Asterisk, asterisk. It shifts your focus from what you don't know to what you can do. And that shift is what gets you unstuck. Another reason people stay lost is because they keep repeating the same negative story in their heads. If you constantly tell yourself, asterisk, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm stuck, your brain is going to find every possible way to confirm that belief. That's how the brain works. It looks for proof of what you already believe to be true. So if you want to stop feeling lost, you have to change the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, asterisk, I'm lost, asterisk, start saying, asterisk, I'm figuring things out. Asterisk, instead of, I don't know what to do, say, asterisk, I'm in a season of discovery. Asterisk, it sounds simple, but the words you use shape your reality. If you shift your language, you shift your perspective. And when you shift your perspective, you start seeing opportunities instead of roadblocks. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they feel lost is comparing their journey to other people's. This is a trap. When you scroll through social media and see everyone else's highlight reels, the new jobs, the relationships, the success, it's easy to feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it together. But here's the truth. Nobody has it all figured out. Asterisk, asterisk. Everyone is struggling with something. The difference is some people have just learned how to move forward despite the uncertainty. You have to stop looking at what everyone else is doing and focus on your own path. Most people believe that if they just think long and hard enough, they will eventually figure out what they want to do. They sit there waiting for clarity to hit them like a lightning bolt. They overanalyze every option, every possible outcome, and every worst-case scenario. And what happens? They get stuck in a cycle of overthinking, and instead of finding clarity, they feel even more confused, anxious, and paralyzed. That's because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. If you sit around waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect sign, or the perfect moment, you will be waiting forever. There is no perfect moment. There is no magic sign. The only way to find direction is to take action, even when you don't have all the answers. Asterisk, asterisk. Think about a car at night driving down a dark road. The headlights only illuminate a few feet ahead, right? But you don't sit there waiting for all the lights on the road to turn on before you move. You trust that as you keep driving, the road will keep revealing itself. That's exactly how life works. You will never see the entire path. But if you just start moving, step by step, things will become clearer. A lot of people stay stuck because they're waiting to feel ready. They think that once they figure everything out in their head, they'll have the confidence to take action, but that's completely backward. Action creates confidence. Asterisk, asterisk. You don't wait to feel ready before you move. You move and then you feel ready. You take a small step, and the experience you gain from that step gives you the confidence to take another. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who always have the best plans. They're the ones who are willing to start without one. They are willing to try, to fail, to learn, and to adapt. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you gain new information. That information helps you refine your direction, and that's how you find clarity. Think about a time in your life when you felt uncertain, but you took action anyway. Maybe you started a new job that you weren't sure about. Maybe you moved to a new city. Maybe you took a chance on a relationship. You didn't know how it would turn out, but you learned something valuable from that experience. Even if it didn't work out the way you expected, you walked away with more knowledge, more confidence, and more clarity about what you want. That's exactly why action is so important. If you're feeling lost right now, the best thing you can do is stop thinking and start doing. Asterisk, asterisk, pick something that excites you or interests you and take one small step toward it. If you're curious about a new career path, take an online course. If you feel disconnected from people, join a group or attend an event. If you've been wanting to write a book, sit down and write one page. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Taking action, no matter how small, shifts your energy. It moves you from being stuck to being in motion. And once you're in motion, you start to see new opportunities that you couldn't see before. It's like stepping into a new room and suddenly realizing there are doors you didn't even know existed, but you'll never see those doors if you're standing still, overthinking everything. There's something powerful that happens when you stop obsessing over the right path and just start moving. You realize that you don't have to have it all figured out to make progress. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step and then the next and the next. That's how momentum is built. That's how clarity is found. That's how you break free from the feeling of being lost. Overthinking is the enemy of progress. The longer you sit there analyzing, the more your brain will convince you that you're stuck. The antidote is action. Even if you don't know exactly where it's leading, even if you're unsure, even if you're scared, just start. Fear is the biggest liar you will ever meet. It will tell you that you're not ready. It will convince you that you don't have what it takes. It will whisper in your ear that if you try, you will fail. And the more you listen, the stronger it gets. But here's the truth. Fear is only as powerful as you allow it to be. It thrives in inaction. It grows when you hesitate. The second you start moving, the second you take action despite the fear, its grip on you weakens. Most people let fear run their lives without even realizing it. They stay in jobs they hate because they're afraid of the unknown. They hold back from pursuing their dreams because they're afraid of failure. They keep toxic relationships because they're afraid of being alone. They avoid speaking up because they're afraid of judgment. And all of this fear keeps them trapped in a life that is smaller than what they are capable of. Here's what you need to understand. Fear is normal. Everyone feels it. Every successful person you admire has felt fear. The difference is that they don't let it stop them. They recognize it, they acknowledge it, and then they take action anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. Asterisk, asterisk. Think about a time in your life when you were afraid to do something, but you did it anyway. Maybe it was speaking in front of a crowd. Maybe it was taking a risk in your career. Maybe it was making a big life change. You were terrified, but you did it. And what happened? You survived, you learned, you grew. That's the power of pushing through fear. It expands you. It proves to you that you are capable of more than you thought. The real danger isn't in failing, it's in never trying. Because every time you let fear stop you, You reinforce the belief that you're not capable, and that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The only way to break that cycle is to prove to yourself, through action, that you are stronger than your fear. Fear is like a muscle. The more you face it, the stronger you become. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you take a step despite feeling afraid, you build resilience, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that fear is just an emotion, not a life sentence. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is to stop focusing on what could go wrong and start focusing on what could go right. Your brain is wired to protect you, which means it will always default to the worst-case scenario. But what if, instead of assuming you'll fail, you assumed you'd succeed? What if, instead of imagining the embarrassment, you imagined the triumph? Start asking yourself different questions. Instead of, what if I fail? Asterisk, ask, what if I succeed? Asterisk, instead of, what if they judge me? Asterisk, ask, what if they love what I have to say? Asterisk, instead of, what if this doesn't work out? Asterisk, ask, what if this changes everything? Asterisk. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have. Fear will always be there, but so will courage. You get to decide which one you listen to. There's a technique called the 5-second rule that can help you break free from fear in real time. The next time you feel afraid to do something, whether it's speaking up, taking a risk, or making a move, count backward from 5, asterisk 5 to 4, -3, -2, -1, go. Asterisk, and then take action. Don't give fear time to talk you out of it. Don't allow your brain to start making excuses. Just move, because the longer you hesitate, the stronger fear becomes. You will never completely eliminate fear, but you can learn to move forward despite it. You can train yourself to take action before fear has a chance to stop you. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. Because fear only has power over you if you let it. The moment you choose action, the moment you decide that fear doesn't get to control your life, that's the moment everything changes. Most people don't realize that their environment is shaping their thoughts, their habits, and ultimately, their future. You can have the biggest dreams in the world, but if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or distractions, you will never reach your full potential. Your environment is either pulling you forward or holding you back. There is no in between. Think about it. If you spend time around people who complain all the time, who make excuses, who never take action, what do you think will happen? That mindset will rub off on you. You will start thinking the same way. You will start doubting yourself. You will start lowering your expectations and convincing yourself that settling is normal. And once that happens, you will find yourself stuck in the same cycle of frustration, wondering why you aren't making progress. But the opposite is also true. If you surround yourself with people who push you, who challenge you, who believe in growth and action, you will rise to that level. You will start thinking bigger. You will start taking bolder actions. You will start believing in what's possible instead of focusing on what's wrong. Your environment is a direct reflection of what you will tolerate in your life. If you want to change your life, the first thing you need to do is take a hard look at what's around you. Your environment isn't just the people you spend time with, it's everything. It's the content you consume, the habits you reinforce, the spaces you live and work in. If you wake up every morning to chaos, to clutter, to noise, how do you think that affects your mindset? If the first thing you do is scroll through negative news or social media that makes you feel like you're not enough, how do you think that impacts your motivation? Every single thing in your environment is influencing your energy. It's either fueling you or draining you. And if you don't take control of it, it will take control of you. That's why it's so important to be intentional about who and what you allow into your space. The first step is to audit your environment. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they pushing you to be better, or are they keeping you comfortable? Are they encouraging your growth, or are they reinforcing your doubts? Be honest with yourself, because if you want to level up, you have to be willing to let go of what's holding you back. This doesn't mean cutting people off completely. It means setting boundaries. It means limiting your time and energy around negativity. It means making a conscious decision to surround yourself with people who are aligned with the future you want to create. Because energy is contagious, and if you want to feel more motivated, more inspired, more capable, you need to be around people who reflect that energy. Next, take a look at your physical space. Is it helping you focus, or is it filled with distractions? Is it inspiring you, or is it draining you? Small changes can make a huge difference. Decluttering your space can declutter your mind. Creating a workspace that feels intentional can boost your productivity. The little things matter because they add up over time. And finally, look at what you consume daily. Your mind is constantly absorbing information, and whatever you feed it will shape your reality. If you're always consuming negativity, if you're always listening to voices that make you doubt yourself, that will become your default mindset. But if you start filling your mind with content that inspires you, that educates you, that pushes you forward, you will start to think differently. You don't have to make massive changes overnight. Just start with one thing. Remove one negative influence. Add one positive habit. Choose one person to spend more time with who inspires you. Every little shift in your environment creates momentum, and that momentum is what changes everything. Most people think that motivation is the key to changing their lives. They wait to feel inspired, to feel ready, to wake up one morning and suddenly want to take action. But here's the truth. Motivation is completely unreliable. It's inconsistent, it comes and goes, and if you're relying on motivation to change your life, you'll be stuck waiting forever. Think about it, though. Many times have you told yourself that you're going to start working out, eat healthier, wake up earlier, or finally tackle that big project? And maybe for a few days you feel motivated, so you actually do it. But then what happens? You wake up one morning and you just don't feel like it. So you hit snooze, you skip the workout, you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. And before you know it, you're right back where you started, frustrated and disappointed in yourself. That's because motivation's a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Asterisk, asterisk. You can't control them. You're not always going to wake up feeling motivated. You're not always going to want to do the work. But here's the good news. You don't need motivation to take action. Asterisk, asterisk. What you need is discipline. Asterisk, asterisk. Discipline is the ability to take action regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to push through the resistance, to show up when you don't want to make decisions based on your goals, not your emotions. And the people who succeed in life aren't the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who are disciplined enough to take action even when they don't feel like it. Think about a professional athlete. Do you think they wake up every single morning feeling excited to train? There are days when they're exhausted, days when they're unmotivated, days when they'd rather do anything else, but they train anyway because they know that success isn't about feelings, it's about habits, consistency, and discipline. Asterisk, asterisk. Now, discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And the way you build it is by keeping promises to yourself, asterisk, asterisk. Every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you actually follow through, you strengthen your self-trust. And that self-trust turns into confidence. It turns into momentum. It turns into the ability to take action even when you don't feel like it. But every time you break a promise to yourself, every time you say you'll do something and then make an excuse, you weaken that self-trust. And that's why so many people struggle to change. They don't trust themselves to follow through because they've broken so many promises in the past. The key to breaking this cycle is starting small. Asterisk, asterisk, don't try to change everything at once. Pick one small habit that aligns with your goals and commit to it, no matter what. Asterisk, asterisk, maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book every night. Maybe it's doing 10 minutes of exercise. The action itself doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. And here's the most important part. You have to do it even when you don't feel like it. Asterisk, asterisk. That's how discipline is built. That's how habits are formed. You stop letting your emotions dictate your actions, and instead you let your commitment dictate your actions. One of the best ways to do this is by using the asterisk 5-second rule. Asterisk. The moment you start to hesitate, the moment you feel yourself talking yourself out of doing something, count. Asterisk, 5 to 4, -3, -2, -1, asterisk, and just move. Don't give your brain time to make excuses. Don't wait for motivation to kick in. Just take action. Because once you start, the resistance disappears. You don't need to feel like doing it. You just need to do it. The more you push yourself to take action without waiting for motivation, the easier it gets. And over time, that discipline becomes who you are, asterisk. It becomes automatic. It becomes your new normal. The biggest lie you've been told is that you need to feel motivated to change your life. You don't.